And believe it or not, penis pumps cost the U.S. government $172 million between 2006 and 2012, which is about twice the amount the consumer would have paid at the retail level. This is all according to a new government watchdog report released by the Inspector General regarding spending by the Department of Health and Human Services. The report shows that Medicare, the government health insurance system for seniors, paid for nearly 474,000 claims for vacuum erection systems, also known as VES. Take a look at this. Over a 6-year period, yearly claims for the devices nearly doubled from 20.6 million in 2006 to 38.6 million in 2011. Government waste is an issue that's taking the forefront as lawmakers try to reach an agreement on a $1 trillion spending bill. To talk about some of this overspending and where we could maybe be saving a little bit more money, I spoke with Tom Schatz, president of Citizens Against Government Waste. I first asked him why Medicare is paying more than the retail value.
There's no reason that they should be. They knew about this disparity in 1999, and Medicare is capable of setting a special payment limit for something that is grossly excessive compared to other costs for other devices. Veterans Department pays about half of what Medicare pays for these devices, and the private sector pays even less.
So how do we ensure a more competitive bidding process here?
Well, Medicare has had trouble with competitive bidding for durable medical equipment, which is where this falls into in terms of the category. There was a change in the law a few years ago. They're having trouble, of course, getting this off the ground. This particular item is not yet covered, but they don't need congressional authority for competitive bidding. They can just set the price and say what we're paying is far too much, because clearly what everyone else is paying seems to be enough to keep those devices around.
But interestingly, they haven't done this for the past 15 years. So the question is, why are they not exercising this authority?
They have a lot of things that they are doing. They probably haven't paid attention. It takes a report by their own Inspector General to bring this to light. And it's now that it is out front, hopefully they will start taking it more seriously. And possibly because it's not a lot of money. It's about $18 million a year for them, $4.5 million for the beneficiaries, but it's real money to taxpayers and the people that need these devices.
Well, speaking of taxpayers, I think a lot of them would be surprised to learn that that a vacuum erection system is a covered medical device. How does the agency determine which items are medically necessary and which aren't?
Well, we're not going to judge what they consider necessary. That's a separate discussion, but they do provide Viagra to Medicare beneficiaries. 65 is certainly not that old.
Right.
But, and I think if a physician says it's medically necessary, that is one of the ways that Medicare judges whether to provide any kind of drug or device.
Right. Well, a lot of people will look at this story and just laugh, but it does, shed light on a much bigger issue of government waste. When it comes to health, I mean, why is there so much money being spent on this particular area when it could be perhaps, better spent on life-saving treatment and equipment to better serve seniors?
Well, again, it's a question of what the medical necessity is of a lot of different things that some people might not need, but others do need. And that's a judgment that may be second-guessed by Congress if they say they can't cover certain devices. But the medical field is so large and there are so many things that people need, it's constantly being reviewed.
Sure. Well, health is certainly a field for which there could be some cutbacks, but I know you've probably researched many other fields that are due for some spending cuts. Can you talk about some other things on your agenda?
Well, absolutely. The appropriations bill for the current fiscal year, 2014, is on the way to be approved in the Senate. It was approved in the House. There are earmarks or pork barrel spending in that bill, even though Congress claims they've eliminated these earmarks. Hundreds of millions, possibly billions. It's much better than it used to be. But nonetheless, there's wasteful spending everywhere. Duplication and overlap, hundreds of billions a year in duplicative programs that Congress won't eliminate. So there's plenty of work for us to do.
And what would you propose going forward to remedy the problem?
Well, the easiest way to reduce spending is to eliminate the duplication and overlap. There are more than 200 science and math education programs, yet the achievement of science and math students in the U.S. isn't any better than it was 10 years ago compared to the rest of the world. In fact, it's probably getting worse. So spending money doesn't solve the problem. Congress should solve the problem and then figure out how much needs to be spent and to get rid of a lot of these duplicative programs.
Well said. Well, Tom Schatz, president of Citizens Against Government Waste, thank you.
Thank you.